Joining me now is Annie Cyrus. Annie, welcome back. We're getting great feedback from our 1 o'clock broadcast. We just had on Shahram Hadian, and he was very complimentary. He texted me this afternoon immediately as we went off the air, thanking us for the incredible coverage. We got his response as a man that was born in Iran, just as you are a lady that was born in Iran. Of course, you were born as children, not as men and as a lady, but you grew up and you're here in America now, and you're fighting for liberty and freedom here as well as for your home country by birth. So let's go right to a statement that's come out by Pahlavi, the Shah's son. My compatriots, the world has not just seen and heard your voice and courage. It is now responding. By now, you have probably heard the message from the President of the United States. Help is on the way. Continue the fight as you have done so far. Do not allow this regime to create the illusion that life is normal. After all the massacres, there is a sea of blood between us and this regime. Save the names of all these criminals. They will be prosecuted for what they have done. But I also have a special message for members of the army. You are the national military of Iran, not the military of the Islamic Republic. You have a duty to protect the lives of your compatriots. You do not have much time. Join them as soon as possible. What do you make of this, Annie, tonight? Well, again, we're still waiting to hear about a possible strike. Nothing has occurred as of yet. You think it's going to be tonight or tomorrow?
Based on the latest update, I don't think, unfortunately, our hope for tonight is gone. I did see the video that came out from Crown Prince Pahlavi. And as you know, I'm a fan of him, and he has my vote, not just as a transitional government. He has my vote for as long as he is alive. And I will tell you why in a minute, but the statement from President Trump of now we went from if you kill protesters, if you shoot them, we shoot back. Then we went for if you don't stop the killing, we shoot back. Now, President Trump has announced that if you hang those protesters, then we shoot back.
Yeah.
So
the line keeps moving. I would agree. And I played the clip for, you can show your frustration. That's fine. I also played the clip for Shahram, and I said, I wish you and Shahram and a few others could be his counselors and keep him up to date, because I think the president is in the dark a lot of times by his own staff, which is not serving him well. And we've seen it before where he has been told by the press something is happening, and to his credit, he'll say, well, I didn't know that. And I do appreciate him saying that. I really do. When he doesn't know something, I appreciate him saying, well, I didn't know that, because it helps us understand a little bit what's going on. And here he is telling CBS, oh, wow, I didn't know about these hangings. Here's the clip. I played it earlier, but I want to play it again.
So it comes back to the question, have they crossed your red line, or has the line moved?
I haven't heard about the hanging. If they hang them, you're going to see some things that I don't know what where you come from and what your thought process is, but you'll perhaps be very happy.
What do you mean by that?
We will take very strong action. If they do such a thing, we will take very strong action.
And this strong action you're talking about, what's the end game?
The end game is to win. I like winning.
How do you define that in Iran?
Well, let's define it in Venezuela. Let's define it with al-Baghdadi. He was wiped out. Let's define it with Soleimani. And let's define it in Iran, where he wiped out their Iran nuclear threat in a period of about 15 minutes once the B-2s got there. And that was a complete obliteration, as it turns out, which is what I said initially. Then some questioned it, and they said, Trump was right. So we've been right about everything. We don't want to see what's happening in Iran happen. And, if they want to have protests, that's one thing. When they start killing thousands of people, and now you're telling me about hanging, we'll see how that works out for them.
Wow. Yeah.
With all due respect, President Trump, this isn't about you winning, okay? This isn't even about you. This is about 90 million hostages. This is about a country that America played a huge role in destroying. This is not about you winning. This isn't about Maduro. This isn't about taking one man out. This is far bigger than you. It's far bigger than a peace prize. It is far bigger than being right about things. A free Iran equals every single human on this planet Earth breathing better.
What do you say to those who are saying we should not get involved? I want to be consistent. I said on radio today, we were like back in the 12-day war. Let's let Israel handle this. We don't want to see our government put in some puppet regime. We want the Iranian people to pick their leaders and have freedom, not someone we pick for them. But we also were concerned about boots on the ground. I still don't want to see boots on the ground. But things have changed because now we're on to 12,000 dead. Look at this. CBS News is reporting this afternoon, it came out, that there may be more than 12,000, possibly as many as 20,000 have been killed. And that doesn't count all the injured and all those who have been arrested. So things have changed. I want to be consistent as I was on radio today. Yes, with the 12-day war, we are saying let Israel handle it. Now I'm for us getting involved, not with boots on the ground, whether it's cyber attacks, whether it's coming in with a few strikes on the IRGC. I am for this now at this level because I believe we are seeing not just the CCP, but Iran furthering the chaos in our streets, funding it, as we're seeing in Minneapolis and other places. I also just played a video clip a while ago where in Dallas, they're saying that Dallas will be the first. We want this model to be repeated in every city, talking about Islam growing and dawah. So I think we have got a problem with this regime in Iran helping to fund and fuel problems in America with their growing mosques. Yep, Saudi Arabia funds a lot of them. Qatar is doing some stuff. We should be dealing with that too. But I don't want to flip-flop, as I said on radio today. Things have changed. The death of 12 to 20,000 young people, many of them, some of them, a percentage of them are Christians. We talked about the underground church today on our radio show. You told our audience today that the underground church in Iran has exploded. Many of them are still wearing their hijab. They're not out in public because they know what that will mean. They'll be dragged off to prison, beaten, tortured, hung, and they won't be there for their children. So many of them are underground churches, but Christianity is exploding in Iran. So I'm not flip-flopping. I'm saying this has changed. Now we have the wholesale slaughter of Iranians. No boots on the ground, but we should be involved. I'm hearing some former military guys who are in the MAGA world saying we shouldn't be involved at all. Well, they're entitled to their opinion just as you and I are. But I am for the military backing these people up. One reason why I'm for backing them up at this point is because we keep telling them we're going to back them up. Get out into the street. We have your back. Help is on the way. If you shoot, we're going to respond. If you hang, we're going to respond. At what point do we let these folks go out there, end up being slaughtered, and the U.S. doesn't follow through with what we're telling them? We're saying take over the institutions. Get out there, stay out there. And if we don't come to their aid, why would any group of freedom fighters in any communist or Islamic country ever trust us again that if they start the freedom movement, we'll be there to back them up? Not that we should be involved in nation building and every skirmish around the world. But when you have the wholesale slaughter of people, whether it's Nigeria or Iran, by the Islamists who are heavily involved in trying to take over our institutions in America, we should cut off the head of this snake.
Well, the simplest way.
You agree with that?
I absolutely agree with that. And here's how I'm going to very much simplify it, though it's a very complicated situation. If you go to your doctor and say, I have a headache, and he gives you a medication, let's say he gives you Advil. You take it, you go home, you're good. Next time you go to your doctor and say, I have an ear infection, do you expect him to give you Advil again or antibiotic? This is what we're facing. The circumstances have changed from 12 days war to today.
Yes.
To expect Advil again, well, you're no expert, but you're a human. You have experienced different pains, so you should know different measures are taken for different circumstances. This is not me and Brandon flip-flopping. This is me and Brandon apparently knowing more than a lot of those who have served in our military, understanding, or maybe some of them are saying don't get involved because they know a military involvement by U.S. means hijacking a completely organic revolution and trying to turn it into a color revolution. I fear that as well. I do, especially because, Brandon, I have sent you a tweet. I have sent you another tweet with a video on it. This one, I didn't get the chance to send it to you. Their right has been so deeply infiltrated by MEK. At this point, I don't even know where to go with it.
And again, remind our audience who MEK is. I brought it up with Shahram a while ago.
MEK is Mujahideen Khalq, meaning the creation's jihadist. MEK, they are a Marxist Islamist terrorist group who were already in our terrorist list from 1997 to 2012, which I should stand corrected. I said 2008 on your show yesterday. My brain was fried. Then they were removed from terrorist list in 2012. Almost 6 years of lobbying by Hillary Clinton and Rudy Giuliani for them to be removed. However, as early as last Sunday, they have committed domestic terrorism in Los Angeles, California. Unfortunately, with their billions of dollars, they have bought so many so-called Republican and conservatives. Right now, they have conquered Newsmax. They have conquered OANN. They have conquered Giuliani and the network he's on. That's where we are. In less than 5 days, they have boosted the pace to where today on Newsmax, there's an article. Can I name names, Brennan?
Yeah, here's Matt Gaetz right now on One American News.
Can we just play the first 15 seconds and then I'll take over from there? Just listen to Gaetz.
I've seen some mainstream media outlets in the West say that the Shah's son, who has become a cause du jour, could return. That seems crazy to me. That seems like some sort of neocon fever dream. So walk me through like what role the MEK would have. What role?
Wait a minute. Aren't the neocons the one backing MEK? And I'm not neocon. You're not neocon. And I'm not enough of an expert on the prince or anything else to be making a lot of decisions on this. I trust you. I trust Shahram. But I'll tell you what, I don't have to know too much about MEK to say, no, I don't want those people. But to say that this is a neocon fever dream, the neocons are the one running around promoting MEK. If you are showing support of the Shah's son, I mean, when I line them up, I'm thinking, well, he sure seems like the better choice than MEK, and the people on the streets are willing to die to see this guy come to power. It's their choice. I'm just telling you what they're saying on the streets. Doesn't mean all of them are for the prince. No, but sure a lot of them are.
And that's called projection.
I don't see them on the streets begging MEK to come back, do you? I haven't heard one.
You'll never see them. And that's the thing. Okay, that's projection. And also, how quickly, because Matt Gaetz was not on their payroll. It's a recent payroll. At least teach him it's not MEK, it's MEK. So at least he sounds like a legit spokesperson for you. And then you go and bring Ali. This man, the man who's giggling and chuckling next to Matt Gaetz, has genuine blood of Iranians on his hand. If he ever shows up anywhere in Iran, he will last less than 35 seconds. People of Iran will literally rip him into pieces with their bare hand. And you go get him.
Why do you say that? What are you accusing him of? What do you know? I mean, you've got it documented, right? You got it documented.
Absolutely. I am not accusing him. He proven documents. He was part of the last attack. So when Saddam Hussein, calm down. Okay, I apologize.
I like the riled up Annie. This is good TV, is it not, Logan?
Okay.
No,
I just don't want to be disrespectful.
Let her rip, Tater Chip. Go ahead.
Okay. When Saddam Hussein, after 8 years of Iran-Iraq war, finally America, UK, and France realized, okay, this isn't happening. We're spending trillions of dollars trying to back up Saddam Hussein to topple this regime in Iran. Let's call it peace. Saddam Hussein and Khomeini came to the table and said, okay, we're going to sign a peace treaty. When that happened, MEK, back then the leaders were Masoud Rajavi and Mariam Rajavi, which Masoud disappeared. Mariam is the only leader today. They picked up weapons, told their army, they said, now Saddam gave up, we're going to continue this war. They put together an attack. They came with, literally, the video footages are out there. They came to fight Iran, not the mullahs. in midst of just finished war, they came in. Of course, it was a disaster. Their people died. They had to retreat, go hide. However, Ali's face, who, by the way, today, Ali is the Committee for Foreign Affairs of MEK. Just so you know, he's not some low-ranking guy coming on Matt Gaetz. He's up here. His face is on the pictures. He was the general of that last attack. They killed Iranians, yes. Iranians killed more of them. However, when Saddam gave up, MEK didn't. They tried to continue an actual war. They used their access to come in. There were pushback. As I said, it was a failure. They failed. They screamed. They cried. All of that. But these are all documented. The videos are still out there. They came at my people in form of war, military action against you. Does this guy, you're chuckling next to Matt Gaetz, who can't even say your name properly. When he gets to saying your name, Ali Mousavi, he butchers the life out of it. He can't even say MEK, right? He calls it MEK. And you're sitting there chuckling when he's making things up about Reza Pahlavi?
And well, it's not going well in the feedback. Let me just, so the audience knows this, I'm not making this up. Here's the post with the interview.
I was hoping you would read those so they know I'm not the only against MEK Iranian.
What are you doing? Are you doing? Okay, are you doing? I think he means. Okay, I can't use the.
What are you doing?
Yeah, we know
what are you doing taking a representative
of this Marxist Islamic terrorist organization seriously? They have zero support inside and outside of Iran, and people hate them. I urge anyone to read about them. Don't take my word for it. This guy. MEK is a Marxist Islamic terrorist cult, openly anti-American and stained with American blood. Iranians are clear and united. In the Islamic Republic, bring back the Crown Prince, Reza Pahlavi. Respectfully, do y'all realize this would be like inviting an Antifa leader to come on your show, asking them who they think the next U.S. president should be, and then publishing that to the world without context? Do you know this person? He's what? Look at all these, one in a row. We haven't even had one person yet agreeing with this. Do you know this person?
Well, she made our job easy. Look at him in the uniform. There you go.
He is one of the terrorists who threatened to assassinate me a while ago, deleted his Twitter after complaining, shame on you for reports. Now, I have no idea what that guy's saying and what that's about. I mean, I don't. Who is
that? Is Ali Mousavi. You see him in the uniform, in the military uniform?
But I want to follow this guy. Why is this guy saying that he...
Because a lot of us who have publicly spoke against MEK way before today, for last 10 years, that is to be clear. I started talking about MEK in 2016, and many other Iranians are out there specifically talking about MEK. We received direct death threats from MEK. And that's what's related to the tweets I sent you from Giuliani today, claiming Islamic Republic of Iran has tried to kill me for trying to free the people of Iran. Well, Rudy, guess what? The people you're defending and taking money from has put death threat on people like me. So get a number and stay in line for those who are afraid of being killed by terrorists. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize.
Oh, there you go.
And by the way, again, just to clear up the confusion, we are getting some emails from people saying they're a little confused because you and I come on here and we talk about MEK, and then one of our broadcast guys who we appreciate on so many levels interviews, what was this dude's name? What was his name?
Todd Wood.
Who I don't know anything about. And yet the colonel had him on the other day. So I know we're a broadcast network and we don't dictate to our hosts. And I understand it's confusing to people. I don't know who Todd is, but he was on the network here with Colonel. Who is Todd Wood?
An author of a book, I don't even remember the title, something of Misunderstood Poor MEK. He put together a complete book saying that Islamic Republic of Iran framed MEK, made them look like terrorists. They're very good people. Supposedly he went to Ashraf, which is their camp, their building. I have talked to so many of them. They are great, peaceful Muslims who love America. That's his book, basically. So Todd has been out
Well, there it is right here. I just brought it up. Paying the Price, the untold story of the Iranian resistance.
Oh, the untold, the absolute lies, every word lies. But I guess
Can I get Todd to come on here and debate you? Would you be willing to debate Todd on the air?
Absolutely, in a heartbeat.
Todd, reach out to us. Maybe give us his contact info. We'll get it from the Colonel. I'd love to have you guys on for a debate.
Absolutely.
Think you'll take us up on that?
I think he will. Let me ask you this. This name, you know for a fact you have interviewed, Claire Lopez.
Yes. I was going to ask you, but I didn't want to get... I didn't know what the answer would be because I was going to say, wait, where's Claire Lopez on MEK? But I was, to be honest with you, a little bit of a chicken to bring it up.
That was the thing. I mean, me and Claire, she has wrote me many messages saying, you misunderstood MEK, you should listen to all that stuff. And I respect her on her expertise on other areas.
Like Hezbollah and stuff, yeah.
But that's the thing. Do I now? When she just published an article on Newsmax. She writes for Newsmax. This one was January 13 today at 3:28 p.m. Title is, Iranians determined to regain liberty, they may well succeed. Even the picture of the article is of Crown Prince Pahlavi. She goes on to say this is happening in Iran, all terrible things, numbers accurate. Some people are, I want to get to, and even though some Iranians are chanting for the return to Iran of Reza Pahlavi, son of the last Shah, who has not been back to Iran since he was 17, but instead made a successful business career in the United States since 1979. Others are heard to insist no to mullahs, no to Shah, and instead are calling for a democratic republic in Iran. I'm not going to even, the rest is even worse because she goes into promoting MEK under their brand new NCRI name. Now, let me read this. None of Iranians' opposition group, however, has provided a policy blueprint for a future after the Islamic Republic has fallen, except for the National Council of Resistance of Iran. Under the leadership of Maryam Rajavi, the NCRI's president-elect, Claire, have you got... The NCRI first published in 2006 a 10-point plan that calls for a pluralistic democratic republic in Iran, yada, 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 making things up where we can. I have worked with Claire myself. I have had Claire on my show. Claire has been on your show. Me and Claire have been on your show. She's been an opponent of Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran's regime. How do you go against them and then sit here and say MEK and Maryam Rajavi are great people? Claire, I thought you were one of us. I thought you always said there is no radical Islam. Islam is just one form. When it comes to Maryam Rajavi, suddenly her Islam is acceptable to you?
No, to be fair, I will invite Claire to come on the program and talk to you. You know, what's
she will gladly do it. That one I know because she has messaged me, and I will say this. I have not responded because I don't have the mental and emotional capacity to try to convince a former CIA agent with so much knowledge who speaks somewhat Farsi that she has picked the wrong side of this. But she has messaged me like, let me have me on your show, not to debate about MEK, by the way, but let's have me back on your show. She has even said, have me back on Jamie's show or Brandon's show. But point is,
I will have her on the show to talk with you about this and give everybody equal time and moderate.
Of course.
I love debates.
So do I. So do I, especially when evidence is right there. And I promise you, let me mark this. Either Todd or Claire or both added with Rudy Giuliani and Matt Gaetz, they're all going to come debate me on one fact. This is all Islamic regime propaganda, Annie. You misunderstood it all. Not that you were in Iran when they were blowing up buildings. Because I was. None of you were. And also, I have spoken personally to those who escaped MEK camps.
Well, here's a this person here. I don't know if you know Ray. Ray, now this is all under the Matt Gaetz clip. So we're still going on that. And I haven't seen one person defending Matt Gaetz yet. Not that they're maybe not in here, but man alive, the people came in there. Now, this guy is an ex-MEK child soldier, 18-year-old member. I share my extraordinary life stories and shed light on this cult's atrocities. Now, I just started following Ray. And maybe, Logan, can you get into our account and message Ray? Let's see if Ray will come on the show. I want to interview this ex-MEK member. Wow. He says, Ali used to be my basketball coach in Camp Ashraf. Now listen to this. And he writes and puts out one of his other tweets. Did you know it's mandatory for all MEK NCRI members, even those who wear suits and appear on Fox News, to attend ideological meetings daily and confess their sexual thoughts to their peers? It's called Daily Cleansing Meeting. Don't fall for their rebranding. They're a cult.
Well, let me add context to what he just said. After that attack, that last attack that I just explained, after that failed, again, the video is there. I will gladly provide the video on the next show or whenever there's a debate. The video with Masoud Rajavi, who was still in charge, came with Mariam, gathered everybody, and Masoud is a sick man. I'm not kidding. This man is sick.
Okay, so can we invite him on the program to debate you, Annie?
Masoud has disappeared. He's the leader that I said he just disappeared at some point. And his wife,
what about
Mariam,
the dude that was just on Gaetz? Will he come on and debate you?
Ali Musavi, there is no way Ali Musavi will ever show his face next to me on camera. Never.
Why do you say that?
Because MEK members know very well how much I know about him. Otherwise, they wouldn't want to kill me, would they now?
Ooh, wow.
In 2016,
now remember, this was a group that was a terrorist organization, right?
Is still. They were not a terrorist. They are still a terrorist group. I repeat, Sunday night, they had a driver drive a U-Haul into Iranian pro-Shah protesters in LA. They never went. I agree with Ray. This cult, don't look at their rebranding. It is MEK. They go with MEK. Anybody who wants to write an article and call it NCRI, they are always MEK. They're always Mujahideen Khalq because they are a Marxist Islamist. They do believe in Quran. On my show, I don't know who's in control in your control room right now.
Logan.
But Logan, in your email, my yesterday rundown of my show, there's a link to their website, to their newly branded website. If we put that up, you'll see that they have little cute tiny menu options, PMOI. When you click on it, it shows you the history of their existence of MEK, and you see the Quranic verses in there.
Well, let's bring that up real quick. And look what I just found real quick. I mean, this is the beauty of producing my own show and having a computer. And again, by the way, I think we're one of the few shows where the host, I'm my own producer. I mean, I'm a board operator, Logan. I'm my own producer, and I produce live on the air. I don't see any other show. I don't see Sean Hannity or any of these other guys doing this. Everything is planned, it looks like. Everything seems to be in a teleprompter. And I'm not boasting. I'm just saying, folks, this is why I like doing the show. It is freewheeling. I don't know what's going to come up because we don't do dress rehearsals. And I don't know what guests are going to say. And then I just start researching stuff. And that's why this show is so fun for me, the host. And I hope fun and entertaining as well as, above all, informative. But I think you got to be at some point a little entertaining and provocative to keep people's attention in this day and age. Not provocative for the sake of tomfoolery, but because we need to be provocative. And of course, the word provocative today has been redefined by so many. Let me go back real quick to this, Logan. This is the MEK. This is from February 2025 Congressional Research Service. Now, I just found this, okay? And I'm scrolling through it while she was talking. And then I'm thinking, okay, what are they going to say about this group? Well, it was founded in Iran in the early 1960s to oppose the government of the Shah. Okay, and I go in there a little further. Ooh.
No, wait. Hold on 1 second. The paragraph you just passed has a very important information on starting line 4. In the 1960s and 70s, the MEK in the 1960s and 70s sought to overthrow the the then U.S.-backed Shah through guerrilla attacks against the Iranian government and other targets. Some of these attacks killed U.S. military personnel stationed in Iran.
Well, there you go.
That's for when I say MEK has American blood on their hands, people are like, well, I thought they just killed the Iranians. No, they didn't. They killed Americans too. And these are the people, Giuliani, Claire Lopez, Matt Gaetz, and what's his name? I forgot his name again. The
Rudy?
No, I already said Rudy. I'm forgetting the other person's name. And some on the left. I shouldn't say just the right, but we expect left to back up terrorists. I just wanted you to know that Newsmax, OANN have officially opened the door to MEK members to be either promoted through articles or be interviewed.
Well, they should be having you on to provide the other side.
Why?
To provide the other side.
Yeah, but then their whole narrative is going to fall apart. I don't pull punches, and also I know a little too much.
Well, why do you think we have you on? Because you don't pull punches. That's what we love about Annie Cyrus.
Thank you, but
well,
you're not on anybody's payroll. There is a huge difference.
That is very true. We're a listener-supported network. In October 97, the State Department made the first designation pursuant to Section 219 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, which authorizes the Secretary of State to designate as a foreign terrorist organization any group that engages in terrorist activity that threatens U.S. national security. The State Department announced designation of 30 groups as foreign terror organizations, including MEK.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's the thing.
Even the Clinton administration stood up against MEK.
Yeah, that was until Hillary was, put on their payroll. Then she became number one advocate. After Hillary was Rudy Giuliani. They targeted both parties at the same time. Rudy Giuliani, Hillary Clinton on each side. When you go and search on the biggest lobbyist to remove MEK from terrorist list, Hillary Clinton's name pops up right after that, Giuliani. There are videos, not made by me, not made by the Islamic regime, not made by AI, very old, you see the quality, that they attended events for MEK and they got behind a microphone and they said, these are great people, they've been framed, let's help them have a good life.
Notice this, 1999, the State Department also added National Council of Resistance and NCR as aliases of MEK. Isn't that what a lot of them are now using, that National Council of Resistance of Iran?
They added it. Okay. Of Iran was added it. Iran, look, now I'm calling Iran. Iran was added after they were finally removed from the list. They added the Iran in there and an I at the end of the abbreviation. And again, I want to be clear about something. Let's say, first of all, I don't even know. Many of these talking heads have always been against color revolution and America's involvement. Haven't you been? Why is it that when it comes to Iran, suddenly you all have an opinion and you're all promoting a terrorist group for it? That's just out of curiosity. I'm asking for a friend. The second part of it is there are millions of Iranians inside Iran and outside. Logan, I'm so sorry to do this, but can you find the email for today's show? It's just at LUTF. There's a very short TikTok video clip on that. Would it be okay if we played? It's like 20-second or 25-second. There's a point in there. I mean, if it is okay.
Okay. And by the way, can we go back to the website? Let's go back to the website because you wanted to make a point about that website.
Yes, let's go to their website. The rebranded, fancy, no more jihadi logo, because their original logo was full-on jihadi Marxist, which I think we should look at MEK logo. It's like so Marxist Islamist they couldn't hide it. But if you go to their website, on their menu option, there's a
and I'm going to get there. Logan just sent it to me because he says I can't pull video clips and show the website, so I'm going to take over. So as soon as the email comes through to me, I'm going to throw it up there. There we go. Here we go. All right, we are there now. Go. Where do I go?
Okay, right there. Okay, so you see PMOI?
Mm-hmm.
You are already on that page. But for sake of, we didn't Photoshop this, let's go to their homepage. So click on their fancy, funny enough, they store Pahlavi logo to make their own logo. This is their homepage. Now we're going to click on PMOI. There you go. The People's Mujahideen Organization of Iran, Mujahideen Hal, MEK, PMOI. If you scroll, they give the history of where they come from, who they are, who were their founders, how they got here. But at the very bottom, you come to realize they are quoting Quran. They don't even hide their Islamic existence. They will tell you that they do follow the Quran, but they will also tell you, like American Muslim leaders, they will tell you that Islamic regime hijacked Islam. These are the peaceful Islam.
Where do they quote the Quran? I was just there we go, right there. There we go. I just did the Control F. So
read that actually. Read that they formed right there for MEK, freedom, gender, ethnics, and religious equality, human rights, and peace are merely political commitment, but ideological principles based on its view of the Quran.
Let me see how much else the Quran pops up here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 13 references to the Quran in this one document.
Yeah, but every single one of them is what your audience and my audience are very well aware. Sugarcoating, twisting, and lying about it. I mean, is there a question left? Again, Todd, I understand. Todd doesn't know anything about Islam. He still say radical, moderate, jihad. He doesn't. With Claire Lopez, how can she read this? But question is, have you read it? Or did you just believe them? Did you just believe Maryam Rajavi was this poor woman who wanted freedoms from the tyrannical Shah of Iran and then the tyrannical Khomeini, and she dedicated her life to killing other people because Quran said so? Well, there you go. Even if that's what she told you the truth. How do you support her?
Where is she at?
Who?
This
Maryam Rajavi?
Yeah.
Well, she kind of bounced between U.S. and Paris, Europe, but mainly U.S. And that's the thing. Again, how do you go from being in the terrorist list to where your main lobbying is taking place in America by Republican representatives? Like,
I
wake up,
sometimes
my fellow
wonder
Americans.
if there's really not a whole lot of hope for the country if there's this little discernment. I mean, the MAGA movement between the anti-Semitism and the Word of Faith, Paula White, and now MEK, every time we turn around, it seems we're talking about the conservative movement, the Republican Party, the MAGA group is being infiltrated by some group, left and right.
And that's the problem. We not me and you, but most Americans have put their trust in one party versus other, not realizing when it comes to red-green axis or furthermore black-green axis, there are no parties. They'll find, and again, a group like MEK, with how much money they have, most politicians have a price. It doesn't matter. The old days of Republicans and conservatives being committed and being patriot, those days are over.
Yep.
I had someone, by the way, I did just email you the link to the Newsmax article so you can show it that later it doesn't become that I made it up, written by Claire Lopez, and it's right there for anybody who wants to read it.
Okay, I'll go to that. But I want to go back real quick to the Gates tweet, because again, here we are, and I'm just showing you, I have not gotten to one tweet yet where people are agreeing. The next one says, the MEK, an Islamist Marxist terrorist cult, just did a terror attack in LA. This is what Morning Star says. I don't know who Morning Star is, but I'm following a lot of these people because I find them kind of interesting. Shame on you for ignoring the voice of Iranians who are fighting a bloodthirsty regime while chanting Javid Shah. Shame on you. All right. There we go. Okay, this guy finally agrees. I wouldn't hire Pahlavi to run anything, let alone put him in charge of a national movement. All right, finally, they're getting someone supporting them. But we went through multiple feedback here with no one supporting him.
And
Gates.
that's the point. That's the point. If I emphasize, if if you're a conservative or a Republican, you claim democracy, you claim majority. So when Iranians, by huge number of majority, are calling for Prince Pahlavi, I'm okay with you saying you wouldn't pick him. That's all right. But for you to, again, that article is a lie. When you say some are calling for Pahlavi, some are calling for MEK, that's a lie. Except those paid by MEK outside of Iran, showing up in like handful of numbers saying MEK, you have not seen a single video coming out of Iran that you heard a single person having Maryam Rajabi's picture on their hand, or a single person saying, cry Khamenei, Maryam is coming back. Therefore, you're inserting misinformation into public knowledge, and that cannot go unchecked.
Here's
when
another
you
one.
Say that
MEK is a cult, Muslim, Maoist, with psychopath leadership. They separate kids from family in camps. Now the guy says we don't even want a fraction of power in Iran. We just fight for Allah. Khomeini said exact same thing 47 years ago. It's all these ideological cults say at the beginning. Now that's quoting, again, what's below this interview between Matt Gaetz and this MEK guy. And I noticed they've included General Flynn, J.D. Vance, and I don't know who this other dude is, USAMB, Turkey, Ambassador Tom Barrack. Okay, where's Flynn on this? Is J.D. Vance weighed in on MEK?
I've not heard J.D. Vance say anything. I have not heard General Flynn weighing in either on Prince Pahlavi or MEK. As of right now, I have not. But I hope he does. I do. I know he knows way more than a lot of these names we just mentioned about MEK. That I know.
Now,
and
here
I
is
do
60
hope
Minutes.
He comes out and say.
Look at this from 60 Minutes. Here we go.
PMOI, or People's Mujahideen Organizations of Iran, also known as NCRI or MEK, is a radical political Marxist Islamic militant organization. Mujahideen Khalq was founded in 1965 by 6 radical Muslim students recruited by the Russian Marxist movements to overthrow the Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, and created an Islamic republic. They based the organization in Lebanon to give their early members military training inside Palestinian Liberation Organization camp. They returned to Iran to fight against Shah with guerrilla attacks, assassinating and terrorizing hundreds of people over a decade.
The people in this group are hiding their faces.
And by the way, I said a while ago, 60 Minutes. Obviously, up until this point, it has not been 60 Minutes, but now here is apparently 1978 60 Minutes archive. Here we go.
Because they do not want to be able to be identified by Sabak, by the people of the Shah. They are members of the Muslim movement, united in their determination to bring down the Shah. All of them are professional people or students at the university.
Why are you people so against the Shah? Iran moving into the 20th century. What's wrong with
Yes, there's an outsider who comes to Iran who does definitely would not see what is going deeply within the people.
And that is?
And that is the misery, and that is injustice and lack of freedom.
Will the fighting go on until the Shah is out? Or do you think with the military government here in Iran now that you're going to have to bide your time for some months or some years?
I think the fighting will go on. And they will fight till their last drop of blood.
After the Islamic Revolution in August 1979, Masoud Rajavi, the leader of PMOI, a totalitarian ideological organization, got into power struggle with Khomeini. PMOI refused to participate in a December 1979 Iranian constitutional referendum organized by the Islamic Republican Party to ratify the constitution that the Assembly of Experts drafted. Khomeini subsequently published a fatwa banning Masoud Rajavi and PMOI members for running in the 1980 Iranian presidential election.
All right, pick it up there, Annie. Your thoughts on what we just saw.
I just sent you a single picture email so we can back this up for anybody who said, oh, this is exactly what we're saying. They have reformed out. These are black and white pictures. These are so old. There is a picture. This is from 2023 of Mariam Rajavi and her best friend.
Oh, wow.
Mahmoud Abbas.
There
you go.
Mohammad Abbas of the PLO, who wrote his dissertation on that the Holocaust was fake, right?
Exactly. So I love doing this, because I know I have had my debates with Americans who think MEK has reformed because, more than anything, we love redemption. I'm like, oh, did they now? So they're not inside PLO anymore?
And this was what year?
2023.
Pretty recent.
This is 23.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. They are.
And by the way, again, can I brag on our broadcast partner, Annie Cyrus, who's a broadcaster here at 3 p.m. Central, 4 Eastern every day? Where are other networks doing what you, and thus because of you, what our network's able to do? Where is this? Could you turn on any broadcast network tonight and get what we've just done?
No. You can't. I guarantee you. You can find plenty alternative conservative media who are promoting MEK. We just showed you a few clips and articles and tweets. But truth tellers, no, we're not welcome anymore. I concluded my show today, and I've said this off air and on air to you, but I did conclude my show today, again, thanking you and your leadership and Word YouTube. Because I know no one else, no other network is covering this. And it's not about inviting me necessarily, but I'm sorry, I'm a very one-of-a-kind reporter.
You are.
There are very few, even Iranians, like you have them, Hediye, Shahram, but again, neither one of them can read or write Farsi. Therefore, they can't translate Farsi. We sometimes talk and I help them with the Farsi part. Unfortunately for MEK and Islamic regime and Mamdani and Rashida Tlaib and Keith Ellison and everybody else, I'm a little too fluent on too many languages and I don't have a life, so I do this 24/7.
This is true. She does do this 24/7. There's the Newsmax piece. Iranians determined to regain liberty. They may well succeed. And again, there's the article by our friend Claire Lopez, who I hope will come on and debate this issue, because I do agree with Claire on a lot of stuff, and she's helped me learn a lot over the years. And I think I knew Claire before I knew you, right?
Yes, you did. Same here. I knew Claire before I knew you. We were connected through Phil Haney, but yes, we both knew her before. I met her in Canada at an event that we were all there to speak against back then, motion M103 that later became a law, anti-Islamophobia act in Canada. That's where me and Claire met. This was in 2017, almost 10 years ago. But yes, and that's the thing. Again, I have tried, and I will keep trying, that it's one thing to stay quiet. It's not the best option. If you have knowledge, you should, but it's another thing to put information out that is not accurate. That is dangerous. That is dangerous. The question is, somebody on those comments on Matt Gaetz said, are you going to bring Antifa to tell you who the next president should be? It's just not good to try to do that to Iranian people or anybody else for that matter. So everybody we just named, I appreciate whatever they've done that was good for America or Iran or anybody else. But we're at crucial times. No misinformation is allowed to get out there. Not on my watch.
Now, true or false?
And I want to, I'm sorry, one thing. I want to say this. Rudy Giuliani, I have confirmation. I want to be very clear. However, I do not have a shred of evidence, nor am I making claim that Claire is being paid by MEK. I want to be very clear on that. I know she does support
We're not making any claims that any of them are being paid, because I don't know unless they
Except Rudy Giuliani. I know Rudy does.
Okay, you have the documentation on that, and I think someone else has put it out there as well.
Yes, Rudy, we know, but except Rudy Giuliani, the rest, especially Claire Lopez, I want to be very clear that she, based on my hearing from her, she genuinely somehow, somewhere has believed.
Look, we want to be fair to everybody. We're just promoting the news, putting out the news, the information, opinion, and ideas and documentation where it applies, and where we've gotten it wrong, we're happy to have those people on to clarify the record and or to debate the issue. We're not afraid of debate. We're not afraid of presenting both sides. Now, let's see here. I'm looking real quick. We are getting reports. Unconfirmed report from inside describes a brutal scene. Shops forced closed at 4 p.m. Anti-riot police controlling entire areas. Drones monitoring from above and blood still on the streets. I wouldn't be surprised if this is true. We've barely gotten any footage out of Iran in the last 48 hours. Based on reports, the death toll, the brutality of the Iranian regime may have worked again as it has during previous protests. This does not mean the protests are over or that the regime will survive, helping government take weeks, even months. All right, now let's go to, I had one other issue I wanted to get to real quick. Let's see here. Oh, you know that Starlink, apparently large, tell me, this is coming from the Iran Observer, large quantities of Starlink have been grabbed up, right? Anyone having Starlink, you reported today, would be arrested.
Yes. They are going door to door. They are searching for satellite dish and Starlink devices. They are taking the devices and the person who owned it together. Mm-hmm. Yes, that I can confirm. I can also confirm that, unfortunately, in some of the cities, we have confirmation that the riot police is walking into hospitals, and they're actually grabbing the wounded and dragging them out of hospitals into unknown locations. And they also have put out call that any emergency room or hospital who start treating wounded protesters without calling the police, they will also be arrested as, what do we call the person who helps the criminal? I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
They are
co-conspirators.
Co-conspirators.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So now doctors, surgeons, nurses, employees of hospitals might start disappearing or being killed as well.
Now, Iran and China are partners, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Now, look at what this group, this is Shadow of Ezra. They say a TikTok user in China is calling on Americans to start a civil war by building a database of homes displaying American flags, labeling those residents as the real enemy. He claims that once the war begins, the database could be sold for profit because the information would be highly valuable. He tells Americans that homes with American flags would be the best places to produce weapons from. Let's listen to this. Here we go.
If you have an American flag in front of your house, swipe away. Do not watch this video. Okay, there's about 10% Americans want a revolution. It's too early, but it's not too early to prepare for the revolution. Let me share with you a business plan to prepare for the revolution. Right now, it's 2026. If some households still have an American flag in front of their house, that means those people are supporting the American system. They are your enemy, and they will be your enemy when the revolution starts. Before you eat the rich, you need more resources and weapons. Where to get all these resources and weapons? Get it from those households who got American flag in front of their house. Okay, so you guys also need to have a community and set up a website and ask all your members to take picture of every household who got American flag and upload those information to your website, address of each household. When the time comes, you guys can use this information as evidence to eat them first. Eat them, God will support you, Buddha will support you. Eat them with no regret, okay? So this is my business plan for you. When the time comes, some household, they will pay you a lot of money just to take off those information off your website.
Wow.
I have an idea to this man who did the video. I have a flag. I have a 20 feet tall flagpole, and I have a giant American flag on top and an Iranian flag underneath it. Did you know if the people you're talking to try to come to eat me, they're going to leave in a body bag because they can't take my weapon because I know how to use my weapon. I know where my weapons are, and I have cameras to spot them, at least giving me 1 minute, 10-second heads up. So are you that stupid? Or do you think those who are going to listen to your business plan for revolution actually know how to even use a weapon, let alone eat me with my own weapon? What is wrong with these people, Brennan?
Right, exactly.
I mean,
and this, the reason I play this is to remember China and Iran are in a partnership together, guys. Okay. And if you think that they aren't grabbing up information on people like us, whether from a flag in your front yard or the broadcast that we put out, I'm telling you now, any of us, and that includes you guys listening, if you're on social media of any kind, reposting this broadcast, putting out information that aligns with this broadcast, all of us are already on a list, if not by Iran, certainly by China and or their proxies. True or false, Annie?
100% true. 100%.
So
but
we either survive together or we are slaughtered together, folks.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure none of us, however, is going to pay a lot of money for our information to be removed. We're not going to do that. We're going to fight back. I mean, I am.
Oh, I'm not going to surrender to this. No way.
No. But yes, that, and again, aside the fact that I'm Iranian American, I want my fellow Americans to take note. Watch the Iranian people. What you're looking at is, it didn't start yesterday.
No, it did not. It took decades. And can I just say real quick, just so we're on the same page, we are in this predicament because we actually have such stupid people coming out of the universities, teaching at the universities, in so-called church denominations, mainline and so-called Protestant ones as well, supposedly, stupid people in the even so-called conservative denominations pushing cultural Marxism, interfaith dialogue, Muslims and Christians worship the same God. It's across the board, left and right. But we have such stupid people coming out of our universities, becoming elected officials, getting elected, becoming lawyers, becoming judges, becoming state legislators, becoming governors, becoming attorney generals, that are so dumb that they actually believe that we ought to allow men in women's sports, that this actually makes it all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court to be argued. And no wonder Islam is taking us over. China is getting the upper hand on us inside our country, because this is part of the Marxist agenda, cultural Marxism, to create coalitions of victims and then say, who's your oppressor, the Christians and the capitalists. But can you imagine if my grandparents came back, my great-grandparents came back and found out that they argued at the Supreme Court today whether a man should be considered a woman and be allowed in collegiate sports or high school sports? Can you imagine? They'd be going, what? Am I hearing this wrong? But that's what's going on today. And we wonder why it is that Islam and Marxism gaining a foothold in America. Listen to just a little bit of this, folks.
You're just drawing the line based on biological sex and saying that trans girls can't be on the girls' team in an age group that's prepubescent.
The record in this case does not support the notion that males lack an athletic advantage at 6 years old. That's about as early as the science goes from what's in the record. And even at that age, males have about a 5% athletic advantage over girls in most situations. Now,
all right, so just to show you that this is being argued, I have another clip I want to play for you, my friends. Let's see if I can find it in all the clips I have today, just to show you. This is how we ended up in this position. Now, here is Justice Sam Alito asking an ACO lawyer, what is a man and what is a woman? And I don't think they have a definition. Now, by the way, I think we also have Ketanji Brown on there, who was asked, what's a woman? And I think her response was, what, I'm not a biologist? Was her response? Something like that, something like that. And we wonder why we're in the mess we're in. Romans 1, nation of fools. Here we go.
Girls.
Yes, Your Honor.
If it does that, then is it not necessary for there to be, for equal protection purposes, if that is challenged under the Equal Protection Clause, an understanding of what it means to be a boy or a girl or a man or a woman?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that definition? For equal protection purposes, what does it mean to be a boy or a girl or a man or a woman?
Sorry, I misunderstood your question. I think that the underlying enactment, whatever it was, the policy, the law, we'd have to have an understanding of how the state or the government was just understanding that term to figure out whether or not someone was excluded. We do not have a definition for the court. And we don't take issue with we're not disputing the definition here. What we're saying is that the way it applies in practice is to exclude birth sex males categorically from women's teams, and that there's a subset of those birth sex males where it doesn't make sense to do so according to the state's own interest.
Well, how can a court determine whether there's discrimination on the basis of sex without knowing what sex means for equal protection purposes?
I think here we just know that we basically know that that they've identified pursuant to their own statute, Lindsay qualifies as a birth sex male, and she's being excluded categorically from the women's teams as the statute. So we're taking the statute's definitions as we find them, and we don't dispute them.
So we don't have a definition. They say they're a guy saying they're a girl. So there you go. I think it was the case. Logan, if you can put this in a search engine, I can probably do it. I think it was the case Casey versus Planned Parenthood. Casey versus Planned Parenthood. And I think the case was based on the governor at the time, who I think was a Democrat, more of a moderate Democrat. Bob Casey, I think is his name. He was the governor of Pennsylvania. It was Casey versus Planned Parenthood. And if I remember correctly in that case, the Supreme Court had an opinion that, not all justices agreeing, that at the heart of liberty is the right to define one's own concept of liberty. I think I wrote about that in my book in 2005. At the heart of liberty is the right to define one's own sense of meaning. Now, I don't know if that's ever been overturned or not. I got to look that up real quick. Logan, do I have that right? At the heart of liberty is the right. Yeah, here it is. Here we go. Let's see here. The notorious mystery passage. Yes. The Supreme Court's briefs are rarely noted, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's see. I want to just do the old Control F for the sake of time. At the heart of liberty is the right to define one's own concept of existence, of meaning of the universe, and of the mystery of human life. Pretty good, huh, Logan? Off the top of my head. Yeah. I don't think I ever impress him. I never impress him. But the reason I bring that up is that because we have been in this stupid category arena for a long time. I think this was back in 1997, according to this. At least that's when the article was written. This is where we're at, Annie. We don't know what a man or a woman is. We don't have a definition. Well, that's right, because the Supreme Court started laying down dumb decisions. Not all of them agreed with this, by the way. Like the idea that at the heart of liberty is the right to define one's own concept of existence, of the meaning of the universe, and of the mystery of human life. Define your own meaning. Well, you know what? If you want to be the president of the United States tonight, just declare yourself that, Annie, and I guess they should recognize that you are your co-president.
And can I order the strike then?
I know, exactly. I mean, this is just ludicrous where we're at. And if this isn't a sign that God is giving over our country, that we actually have people that sit on the highest courts of the land and make such dumb comments, whether this one You have the right to define your own meaning of life and the universe and blah, blah, blah. Or no, we don't have a definition for male or female. And we wonder why it is Islam is building mosques, taking over and saying, this is our plan to conquer you guys. You ignorant, postmodern, moral, relativistic Americans. Spoiled. That's not obviously the people in this audience, and a big percentage of the country doesn't agree with the craziness. But there's too many of them that either agree with this or they have checked out due to apathy and passivity. And I don't know if I'm going to be around when it hits the fan, but when it does, can you imagine the crocodile tears by all of those people who didn't want to pick a side, who have splinters in their crotch from sitting on the fence? You got a clip to help this, Logan? Go for it. All right, go for it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yes. Logan showed me this earlier. This is exactly what we're talking about. How dumb people become. Now, this is humor here. Stick with me. Watch this. We'll get a response from Andy on all of this. Go ahead. Here we go. Okay, what's it say? Abortion is health care. All right. He's going to our front door.
Hi, how are you? Hi. I'm with the ASPCA, and we're just going door to door in the neighborhood asking people if they'd be willing to commit to a monthly donation.
Okay, maybe.
Okay, if I told you a little bit more about where your money would go, would that make you feel better?
Yes, it probably would.
Okay, so I'm with the Animal Rights Division, or the TARDS, and we're in charge of all of the health care for the animals that we serve. So 100% of your money would go to their health care.
Okay.
Is that something you might feel comfortable with?
Yeah, I probably would.
Okay, if you could just put your name here, an email address, and then where it says regarding or RE, just put TARDS. Okay. And so our biggest healthcare dilemma this year for the TARDS is there's just too many pups. So 100% of your money would go to help with the abortions of unwanted puppies.
Wait, what?
Yeah, to abort the unwanted pups, because there's just so many young puppies. It's basically pups having pups, and they can't afford to raise their litter, and it's just a financial burden. So what we do is we help with aborting unwanted puppies.
Oh, well, no. I'm not comfortable with that.
Okay, is that your black sedan out front with the bumper stickers?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so you understand that abortion's health care?
Well, yes, but it's not. That bumper sticker isn't about animals.
What's it about?
It's about people.
Okay, so are you saying that a human baby in a womb is not worth as much as a pup in the womb?
No.
It's worth the same, right? So if it's
yes.
not okay to abort puppies, then it shouldn't be okay to do that to humans. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay, so abortion's not health care?
Well, I think that no, I don't want to donate. I need to go. I need to go inside.
So would you agree then that abortion is murder?
Thanks for stopping by. You need to go,
ma'am. But before you leave, can we still count on your $19 monthly donation for the next 12 months? I guess abortion is murder.
Yeah, and folks, I think that is a real door knocker who did that to show the stupidity. And folks, you all know people in your neighborhood, your maybe sadly family, your community that are just that dumb. The woman had to go inside because she just got taken with too much truth. Okay. And this is why we're being enslaved. And now I don't need to tell this to this audience. This audience knows this. They're discerning, smart people, or they wouldn't be tuning into this broadcast and staying here. But this is what we're all up against, Annie. This is what, and we're even trying to convince people that should know better not to fall for propaganda, even in the MAGA movement.
Yes, and the funny thing is that I guess no one has told these people that Islam will kill you if you abort your baby. On the Sharia, abortion is, well, punishable by death. They still get out there and say, what is it they say? Free Palestine? Without knowing that a free Palestine, which, by the way, let me repeat what you have said today and yesterday. What about free Iran? That doesn't help, right?
No.
Free Iran, not good. Free
No.
Palestine, much better.
How about I can't breathe? Where's that? I can't breathe.
Right? Police brutality.
Yeah, the guy got shot in the face the other night, and we watched him on video drowning in his own blood, and he couldn't breathe. I don't see anyone say, I can't breathe. I'm drowning on my own blood. Or say his name. Say his name. Where are all these people? Can we do this? Can we ship them to Iran? Can we round these people up? Can we expand ICE to include rounding up all the communists and Islamists and shipping them to Iran? Can we do that, please? And maybe take some of these freedom fighters, and maybe actually letting some of them come in here. Some of them would probably be better citizens coming from Iran than some of these people born here. Well, I guess you proved the point. So does Hadia, and so does Sharam. But see, that's because we have brainwashed our people in America. That's why I got part 3 coming out on Brainwashed America this year. I've already filmed some of it. Why are you laughing in there, Logan? What are you laughing at, Logan? The segue? You're laughing at that? Oh, you like how I slipped a plug in there for my documentary. That's what he's laughing at. All right. Thank you, Logan.
Very smooth. Very smooth. But let's ship them to Gaza, because Iran is a step away from freedom. We don't want them in Iran. As much as I don't want them here, I don't want them in Iran either. Let's ship them to Gaza.
Don't America my Iran. Is that what you just said? Don't America my Iran.
No, it's more like don't dumb down my Iran.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Don't America my Iran.
I got to be a little careful. Yes, and again, my fellow Americans, take note. Look at these kids. Look at them. Learn from them. I said it on my show in a way more emotional way today, but why do you think what they're suffering from will never come here? What makes you think that? Why do you think that one day your children won't have to do what they're doing on the streets today? Come on.
This continues.
Of course it will. If we don't learn, if we don't pay attention, if we don't get educated, if we don't come out of our comfort zone is very deadly. Very deadly. And unfortunately, many Americans have their comfort zone and they're way too comfortable in it until they, knock at their door, which then unfortunately they don't have the preparation mentally, physically, emotionally, or, in their house. They're not prepared for that knock at their door. I mean, there's a lot of tough talk going on social media. It's so much easier to be a keyboard ninja than be a real life patriot. And I will again tell you that from a 4-year-old to a 66-year-old and everyone in between, we have confirmed 12,000 killed until January 11th. Again, remember, when they say it could be up to 20,000, that's very legit.
Yes, CBS is saying it could be up to 20,000. CBS!
That's the thing, though. We don't have the numbers of last 3 days. So when you look at it, it makes sense. It could be over 20,000.
Well, now we have, in closing here, the Jerusalem Post. The world must recognize Reza Pahlavi before Iran's... How do you say it? Reza
Pahlavi.
Pahlavi. Okay, I'm never going to be able to match you. Never going to be able to match you, but I'll try. Before Iran's regime causes a mass atrocity.
Amen. I said amen to that.
International recognition of Crown Prince shifts incentives inside the country by signaling that loyalty to the current leadership is a gamble.
Amen.
Jerusalem Post. I'm tired. I bet you are.
Siavash wrote that. Yes. No wonder I'm feeling so comfortable with it.
Who is this?
Siavash Gholami. Great writer, and definitely he understands, just like I do, that now is the time to recognize Reza Pahlavi. I would say he probably has more knowledge of Pahlavi dynasty than I do. I know that title was talking to me. I'm glad he wrote that.
This episode, as the young kids in the control room would say, this segment has been fire.
Woohoo!
Right, Logan? You're laughing at that too, aren't you? Yeah.
And I will say on behalf of myself, Brennan House, the young kids in the control room, and everybody at Worldview Tube except maybe one person, the fire you see on this episode is all inspired by the fire, bravery, and courage of all Iranians inside Iran.
Right. Yep. Now we just need to get you to be a guest on Colonel Manus's broadcast and let you guys debate it.
No, I'll be honored to be on his show. I'll look for the email or the phone call.
Yeah. I'm gonna text him and say, hey, I think you should have Annie on and just debate it. And hopefully Claire will come on, and hopefully Todd Wood will come on, and hopefully who else did we say? The dude with it was on with Matt Gaetz.
Ali Musavi?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't we also try? Can we do this just since this was fire? Let's have one more question. I will propose it as a question to your audience and you. Can we pull up X and go to Mariam Rajavi's X account?
If I could spell that.
M-A-R.
Okay, wait a minute. M-A-R.
Y-A-M.
Mm-hmm.
A space.
Mm-hmm.
R like Richard. A.
Did you say R like what?
Richard.
Oh, Richard. I thought you said something different.
I heard that laugh.
I thought she said something different.
Yes,
uh-huh.
no. R-A-J.
Got it.
There you go. Can we put it up? Can you zoom in a little bit? Okay, so this is the woman who has the 10-point plan. She's the strong leader. Let's scroll down through her tweet feed and let's look at specifically the comment section of every tweet she puts out. And let's see what we notice.
Okay, I'm going to have to probably open one of these up then, aren't I?
No, you don't. Just
Oh, really?
No. Go back.
Okay.
Here's the funny thing.
Oh, wait a minute. She has no comments.
Yes.
She's got all comments turned off.
What a leader.
Wow.
What a leader there is. She silences you.
Everybody's turned off. Was she afraid of, she's afraid of everybody coming on there telling the truth or what?
Amen. So again,
so the same treatment Matt Gaetz was getting, she doesn't want that. At least, hey, to Matt Gaetz's credit, at least he leaves his open, right?
That's what I'm trying. I figured this would be a great closing argument, pre-debate argument of how do you support a leader that can't even have the bravery to allow opposition come and talk under her posts?
Yep.
Just
indeed.
a question.
Just a question.
And this one's for your audience. Who are my friends?
Indeed.
So again, asking for a friend.
What a broadcast. What a broadcast. Incredible. liveuptofreedom.substack.com, liveuptofreedom.substack.com. And of course, her art store, lutfstudio.com, lutfstudio.com. And she's on each and every day at 3 p.m. Central, 4 Eastern Standard. Okay. And let's see here. What is this? Wow. Showing a U.S. passport or demonstrating connections to the United States can be a reason enough for Iran authorities to detain someone. Yes. Citizens are told to leave Iran. Be warned about USA passport usage. Wow.
If you have a U.S. passport, they will immediately pick you up as a spy. Because right now they have announced that the propaganda machine is those on the street who died were killed by U.S. and Israel people.
Yes, I called you this afternoon and I said, Annie, I think that even among the so-called right, there's going to be people saying that all these people were killed by America, CIA, Israel, Mossad. They did it all in order to provoke us to war. Because I'm already hearing things that sound very similar to that. And you agree, obviously.
Yes, because the regime already put that information out on their broadcast. That's the thing. They stop any communication from people to outside, but then they push their own narrative out. And this is the narrative. Because the terrorists who killed the people are Israelis and Americans, anyone arrested with an American passport will automatically be charged and convicted of spying for America and next morning hanged. So if for any reason you're in Iran with an American passport, get out. Just get out.
LiveUpToFreedom.com, LiveUpToFreedom.substack.com, LUTFstudio.com, 3 p.m. Central, 4 Eastern every day, Annie Cyrus. And here pretty much every night until this is all worked out. Annie Cyrus, thank you.
No, thank you, Brana.
Annie Cyrus checking in. All right, guys, let's roll the music. Call it a night. You appreciate what we're doing here? That we give a platform to people like Shahram, like Annie, Usama Dakdok, Andy Woods, Patrick Woods, so many people. Well, we need your support. We don't charge these guys, okay? We give them airtime because we believe in what they're saying and their message. So help us cover the cost. It's very expensive to run this network. Worldviewfoundation.com, worldviewfoundation.com. May God save America, Israel, and those wanting freedom in Iran. Take care.
You're watching Worldview 2, built on the 35 years of Worldview books, documentaries, research, high-profile interviews, and the radio and television broadcasts of Brannon Howard.